Welcome, friends, to the Healing Art of Being You podcast. Today we are discussing animals, energy, and how wonderful these little angels can be, and how much they can also make you want to pull your hair out at the same time. So, in the work that I do, when dealing with energy, animals are just little sponges. They soak up everything around them. They soak up all of the good, the bad, the ugly, and then you often are stuck dealing with it without actually identifying that it's not just them being an asshole. There's a reason they're being this specific shade of asshole.
Although they might also be one.
They might also be just an asshole, right? It's fine. There might be the undercurrent there. But typically, there's a reason as to why they have this specific behavior. A lot of what I deal with within my own family unit is these animals that are just incredibly personified. And so it's like we have a whole routine, right? Like Matt wakes up for work. We get daddy coffee. Vienna knows. She checks the coffee cup. She knows how much coffee is left and when she can start screaming and whining for Frisbee, because daddy Frisbee before work is a thing, right? She will literally go over and look in the coffee cup and then just start the until he looks at her and says, "Do?" Doesn't have to be a full "do you want to go play Frisbee?" Just "do." And the sky, like, everyone is excited and freaking out and losing their minds, right? But if there's not time for daddy Frisbee, then we have a problem, right? So for an example, Matt was leaving for work and he wasn't doing a great job of communicating with Vienna what he was doing, where he was going, and when he would be back. And I literally had a whole dynamic where I changed the bed, clean sheets, everything is good to go. He leaves for work. She gets upset and pees on top of me on the bed. And I'm like, what? Excuse me, what is this? So I spoke to my mentor, our dear friend Caitlin, and she's like, yeah, there has to be a communication. Like, he's got to talk to her. He's got to tell her what's happening, what to expect, all the things. So Matt had to rise to the occasion and do a very profound goodbye. Every day that he leaves for work, there is a very direct conversation with Vienna that's like, I'm going to work. I will be back in one sleep. Please be good. And as long as there's this connection and this communication, no peeing on the bed. It's wonderful. She pees outside where, dogs are supposed to. It's great. Fantastic, right? Hilarious. So it's things like this that we can see when I'm not doing a good job of dealing with my own energy and taking care of my own self and having the boundaries that I need to have. They're not either. And they start having these behavioral things that ordinarily could make one just be like, wow, you're bad at training dogs. I'm not saying I'm not. Like, let's call a spade, but ultimately it's a very specific, direct behavior that is chosen to get a rise out of you for a reason. Iris loves to eat.
Call a spade. I'm also bad at training dogs. However, this is very specific behavior.
Like, they are notoriously difficult to train because they're so stubborn. But like, it's literally, she has pet stairs that she will chew on. Like, she rips at them to get the foam out. That's her communication to let us know that she's upset about something. Yeah. So, sure enough, if she hasn't had a session, if I haven't had a session, if the vibes are off, and I am off, especially when I'm off, I'm like, I just need you to exist for 5 seconds so that I can put away these clothes and like get something done around this home, and the ripping starts. I wish I could sound effect for you, but like, it just like grinds like nails on a chalkboard. I'm like, just stop it. And she just wants attention. She wants to be focused on.
It's like when the kids take the entire bin of Legos and you just hear them crashing to the ground. You're like,
yes. No. Exactly, yes. Exactly, yes. And that's what's like beautiful, right? I'm very grateful for it because I can see their signs. I can see their behaviors. That's like, hey, we aren't doing so hot. we've been existing in the background. Things are weird. Gaga's weird. Gaga's hurt. Right? You're not here, whatever the case may be. Like, things are wild in my life right now. So it's completely understandable. But it's being able to identify that it's a pattern and it's a behavior and they're trying to communicate with you. And so it's funny because I have clients who, I should say, whose owners will bring them to me and they're like, I don't know what the case may be, but they have, you know, separation anxiety, or you know, they were a rescue and they have a lot of trauma from the life they lived before coming to me. And I'm very concerned that I'm doing something wrong. I'm the problem, and I'm acting a way that I shouldn't, and it's creating this dynamic for them, right? And often it's the animal stepping up and trying to protect their owner, whether it's from emotional turmoil or physical danger. It's typically coming from a sense of like, oh, hold on, you're not okay. I have to show up and be okay for both of us.
And it's so annoying when they do that. It's not helpful.
Oh, it's so annoying. It's
like a toddler baking cookies.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
This is cute. This is super fun. My kitchen is a mess. Please stop.
Yeah, you're like, 3 of them are edible. I appreciate the 3 that are edible. The rest have just eggshells. I don't know.
It's just not a good situation.
Not a good situation.
No.
Not a good situation.
It's always, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Literally. You're doing too much.
Back up.
Back up. Can I just like breathe for a second? Can I like get some space? But they're animals. So it's incredibly difficult to have that conversation, right? Because whether or not you believe that they can hear you or understand you, they're like, oh, you're telling me you want space. What you're actually saying is you want less space. Because the more upset you're getting, the more I need to fix you.
The more you need me.
Literally.
I really, really don't. Very much I do not. Please go away. Oh, man. So our situation.
Yes.
With our dog, Emma.
Lovely Emma.
Emma is our son's dog. He is, like many children during COVID, really, really struggled, missing their friends, just no more sports, no more school, and just was not adjusting very well. And our neighbor behind us had a dog, and he would come over and he was like, Mom, can I go jump the fence and go play with Jackson? And I was like, well, as long as Jackson's dad says it's okay, I'm fine with that. Jackson is the dog, to clarify. So then, yeah, he jumped over the fence, came back 2 hours later, broad smile on his face, chatting and singing and having fun. It like was back to his normal self. And I was like, we need to get a dog. Knowing very well that it's not that I dislike dogs or dislike any pets. It's that I knew we were already at max capacity, and that we really should not be responsible for taking on another life right now. But it was COVID, so you get delusional about how much time you have available, right? Yeah. And when you see your child suffering and there's not other options available that you can see, this was an available option. Yeah. And I always had grown up with dogs. I do like dogs. Many people in my life think that I don't. I do like dogs. It's just I don't want to take care of more lives than I already have. That's what it is. Yeah. And so we get Emma. Delightful, beautiful little Emma. Emma, who has the face of a lab and the broad shoulders of a boxer or a pit bull. Like, I mean, she looks like, I kind of have like, if she were a person, she would be like a CIA assassin, you know, where she like looks real sweet, but then also she'll kill you. Yep. She won't. She's actually a very, very sweet dog. She's never hurt anybody, but she just has the build of like, yes, I could be a bouncer also. FYI, I look super cute, but also I could kick you out of this club. Yeah. So anyway, she has a tendency to be so destructive. So destructive. She will pee on the, like she anger pees on the carpet. She chews up everything. That's not accurate. She doesn't chew up everything. She chews up socks, underwear, the crotch of shorts. always the stinkiest parts.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the stinkiest parts. Like, she'll get a pair of underwear and like the waistband is perfectly fine. That's not the part that's getting chewed up. Mm-hmm. Like, she'll chew up a pair of socks, but it's not the part that's going up your leg.
Nope.
That's not what's getting chewed up. And so she always chews up the stinkiest parts of clothes and hardback books. You couldn't even chew up the inexpensive books. You got to go for the hardback books. Yep. So we have everything in our house is like baby proofed. Keeping in mind, my youngest child is turning 6 in a couple days, right? Everything is baby proofed. All bedroom doors are locked at all times. Bathroom doors are locked at all times. We literally have yarn around the door in our office because it like doesn't have like a true latch. It's like one of those French doors or whatever. They just kind of swing open. So we like wrap it up so she can't get in there because she's chewing up half of my bookshelf worth of books. Yeah, it's like the most ridiculous thing ever. We have a lock on our trash can so that she can't, because she was literally had figured out, because she's not stupid.
No,
she's brilliant. So she figured out how to push the button, like push the what is it called, the little steppy part,
the pedal.
Thank you, pedal. Golly, hit the pedal to get the thing up, and then she would get her head in there, and then she would just pull out. Not even everything. It's not like she dumped the trash can over. She would just pull out specific items that she wanted to eat. So we locked the trash can, thinking, okay, this is as good as it gets. Mm-hmm. We had to get rid of our bread basket. Our bread has to go like in the pantry on the top shelf now because she was getting up and pulling out full loaves of bread. And let's be real, groceries are not cheap right now. No. So it's like, oh, great, you just ate $5 worth of groceries. Mm-hmm. And now also we don't have food for lunches tomorrow, so thanks.
Right.
She will pull dishes out of the sink, literally up on her leg, like up on her hind legs, and somehow Houdini's a flippin' Pyrex out of the sink and takes it into the family room and just licks it clean. How she hasn't dropped anything, how she hasn't like shattered glass all over the ground and like hurt her poor little paws. Right. I have no clue.
Oh my gosh.
No clue. So she's super destructive. And it just makes me so angry. On top of that, she also doesn't want anyone touching me. Ever. It's like, listen, if you're touching anybody, you're touching me, sister. Mm-hmm. Like, that's where we are. Mm-hmm. She's kind of okay with me hugging our youngest. But anybody else, any of the boys, if I give them a hug, she comes over and she's just right in my face, just barking until we let go. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Back up. Do less. I'm not interested. I don't like loud love. Uh-huh. Be quieter. Right? Just sit next to me. I'll pay you. That's fine. You don't need to bark up in my face.
Right.
Drives me batty. And she's not even my dog. She's not even... You go find your boy.
Go find your boy.
He wants you. Right?
Yeah.
I have you here because you make everybody else happy. Right? It's not that I dislike her. It's just, it's too much responsibility. Yeah. She wants too much from me. Uh-huh. And I'm just not here for it.
You're not here for it. Especially because what she wants from you often is for you to do something for yourself. Uh-huh. And you're like, hi, Emma. Ain't nobody got time. Mm-mm. We are in go mode right now. Mm-hmm. I'm in mom mode, CEO mode. I have to get the people to the places to do the things. I have to make the food. I have to do all of those things. So while I appreciate that you can see that my emotional health and my energy is depleted and I need a moment, I don't have time to take that moment right now. So I'm going to tell you to get out the way, and I'm going to keep doing the thing I need to do.
Because her trying to tell me that I need to take time is so destructive that it takes away from the time that I would have to do the taking time for myself.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I would have taken time for myself, but you decided to pee on the carpet. And she always does it like it's a shame pee. It's not even an anger pee. It's like upstairs in the hallway while we're home. It's not like you had to go. We could have opened the door for you. Right. She broke down the gate at the stairs, so it's not even like we can contain her in a certain part of the house. Yeah, so it's like we'll just be sitting there, and then we'll all go upstairs and go to bed later, and sure enough, right in the middle of the hallway, big old puddle, and I'm like, drives me batty.
Insane.
So that's when I was like, Chelsea, fix my dog.
Help me.
Help my dog. And you were like, yeah. So it's not actually her that's the problem. I was like, I don't want to hear this.
She's like, listen, say less. Okay, say less.
Yeah.
I had so staying with my sister, my 3 weans. Crazy. She also has 2 weans and a golden retriever. So we had...
That's a lot of chaos.
Yep, sure is. So I was like, I got this. It's cool. We're going to do sessions on everybody. And the intention we're setting is, how can we play nice with friends and be kind and receptive to all of the energy and the entities and the beings that are in my space right now? Thank you. And to be honest, it went pretty well. It went pretty well. Like, it could have definitely been way worse, for sure. But it took away some of that, like, fighting for the attention. Her dogs... I'm a dog person. I'm an animal person. And they don't want to share, right? So not only does it, like, not just my dogs that don't want to share, it's like her dogs are like, no, I haven't seen my aunt, step off, right? And so then there's like Izzy's like, excuse me, this is my mom. Like, I don't know what you think you're doing. All of that, right? Do the session, and everyone's calm. We're sharing the love. It's okay. You know, we can deal with the fact that there's 6 canines here that all want attention and affection and all the things, right? And so it's something that going into the situation, absolutely not. Going into it when we first got there, before I had done the session, we've got Izzy getting loud with everybody. She's like trying to dominate Danny. Danny's like, I'm sorry, I'm a flying squirrel and I cannot be tamed. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just a disaster. And it's just something that, like, the programs of, like, there's not enough. No one cares. The need for more and the idea that they have to compete with each other was fully present until I dealt with the energy of the situation. And those energies, were they the dogs? No, absolutely not. I'm like, hey, Stacy, we need to, like, sit your kids down next because this is yours, this is his, like, all of the things, right? And she's like, yep, I know, I got it, thank you. And it's true, but it's something that animals provide such emotional support for us. We often aren't aware of how much they are taking from us. And I'll be the first to say it, that, like, as soon as I got Izzy, I was like, oh, she's just magic dopamine. And I wowould go to drive-thrus and, like, I'd be in Starbucks drive-thru and they would be so excited to see her, right? And, like, everyone would be like, oh, look how beautiful she is, all the things. And I'm like, yep, she's great, she's phenomenal, fantastic. She's terrified in real life, she's the rescue with the issues, it's fine. But ultimately, they bring sunshine and joy to others. And that's wonderful. And also, if I'm utilizing my dog's furry neck as the place that regulates my nervous system all the time, there's going to be some boundary issues there. And she's going to likely be taking on some stuff that she doesn't need to take on. And then she's going to be acting crazy. And I'm going to be like, why are you being insane? And it's like, well, Mom, because you thought that putting your face in my neck was going to solve all the world's problems.
Did it not?
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, because when we worked, because I remember the first time I called you about it, I was like, listen, I am 3 seconds away from just opening the front door and letting her go. Like, I need you to step in and do something. And you did your thing.
I feel like it was the chicken. I feel like the chicken was the first one.
When she ate a frickin' 2 pounds of raw chicken. In the time that it took Ryan to walk the children 4 houses down to the bus stop. Not only was it like he came back and she was licking the plate. No. Like, the chicken was gone. She was licking the plate clean. It's not like she was just like licking a couple of the chicken breasts on a plate. No, fully gone. Fully gone. It was like raw chicken. Seriously.
And then her gut was messed up. Like,
oh yeah.
I feel like I didn't get involved until she had seen the vet, and you were like,
yeah, she was having diarrhea. Gosh, I don't remember at all. But basically, she was terrorizing me, my house. I was done with it. I was like, Chelsy, you got to do something. Either I'm going to be world's worst mom because I'm going to break my son's heart because I'm going to get rid of this dog because she's driving me crazy. And I knew I wasn't actually going to be that person. But I'm like, I can't live in this house like this. Like this, she's driving me nuts. And so, yeah, you did all your thing. You did all your stuff. And like within a few days, because I mean, processing time, she was still a monster child. But after that, it was like, oh, she actually like hasn't peed in the house in like a couple weeks. Oh, and then she was doing it every single day at this point in time, like multiple times a day. Disgusting. It's like, okay, here's the thing. Side note: as a pelvic PT, the amount of time that I spend around things that smell like urine, it's a pretty high percentage of my life, right? It's a voluntary choice. It's a byproduct of the job that I've chosen to have because of the joy that I bring to the people that are in that field, right? That being said, the amount of times that I have to come up against urine in my own personal life, I'm done with it. I'm so sick of it. I don't want it from the dog. I want people hitting the toilet, like getting it in the toilet. Like this is not hard. No, I don't know. This like, can we just get the urine in the toilet or outside in the grass where it belongs, please, folks?
Amen.
Now, obviously, my children are much older. This is not something that we deal with anymore, but it was just like we'd finally figured out the toileting situation, and now we've got Emma peeing all over the house, and I'm like, I'm crazy here.
I remember texting you because I was with you during the day. And you were fielding calls from Ryan back and forth. And then I remember texting you later, and I was doing the session, and I like released the things, and I sent you the report, and you replied back to me and said that Emma had just let out like the gnarliest gas ever, and you were like, whatever you did is already working.
It's like getting out there.
We are moving through. And it was so funny. And then, like you said, it was a couple days later after the processing period that I feel like I saw you the next Friday, and I was like, so how's Emma? And you were like,
I mean, she's like not eating everything in my house, and she's not, peeing all over my carpet. So like, yes, obviously she's doing way better.
But she's still my shadow. But she's still next. We need to focus on that.
So codependent.
Yeah. And so then we would do stuff. We literally focused on the ability of her to give you space.
Yes.
And be her own person. Right. And like, that's kind of how we've seen too that it's her trigger as well. Like she shows you when she needs a session because she's like, hi, I'm going to make it physically impossible for you to keep ignoring me and ignoring the chaos and the madness that I'm adding to this dynamic because it's here for a reason. Thank you.
And she was absorbing a lot from the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And we travel a lot because of sports and stuff like that. So we bring home a lot of weird juju magumbo. I mean, we had like literally like 2 weeks ago, all three of them were like, can you stage my bedroom? Something doesn't feel right. So yeah, like I was like saging like twice in 1 week. I was like saging everybody's bedroom, saging the kids, saging Emma.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. We pick stuff up, and it's like not everything has to be a session, but like a lot of times it's like, okay, we're seeing some pretty significant behaviors here. And I will say that if it weren't for body code, I'm not entirely sure that Emma would still be part of our family. I think I might have lost it. But yeah, so she brings a lot of value to the family. She is a very good dog.
Oh yeah.
She is a wonderful dog. She's never hurt anybody. She's, a very lovey dog.
Of course.
It's just,
but like we represent the journey here, right? Is talking about things that bring us love and bring us joy and are wildly positive in our lives, and yet we're human, and stress is a thing, and sometimes we can have things in our life that are super positive that also can make us lose our mind.
Well, and I think we know that dogs, I feel like anybody who has dogs, or any pets really, but I feel like people who have dogs know dogs feel stuff sooner than people do.
Yeah.
Like they can tell things are coming before people can. Absolutely. They get vibes off of people better than people can. So it's not, it's completely understandable that what you're putting off in your own home, in the environment that they are stuck living in, that they are going to pick up on that, and then they're going to respond the only way that they can, which is like trying to help or looking for safety. Like those are kind of the two things that they're looking for here. And it's very annoying. No, it's their best way of communicating. It's just like when our body is like, it can't use words to tell you what's going on. Right. So it's like, okay, well, you're super anxious. I'm going to go ahead and give you diarrhea until you actually deal with the anxiety that's going on. Like, oh, you're burning yourself to the ground. I'm going to go ahead and give you a chronic illness until you learn to slow down and listen again. So it's, everything is there's no universal language, except for energy. Right. That's the only thing that carries across different species. Amen. And it's the best way for us to, so if you're somebody who has a pet that is just a little cheekier than you'd like them to be, there may be something else going on.
There may be something else going on, and you might need some assistance. Yeah. In a way that you just weren't really aware of before.
It may not be something that needs to be trained out of them. Right. It may be that they are trying to communicate that there's an issue here, that there's something going wrong. I mean, we know that dogs are being trained to track, help people with seizures or diabetes or like
blood sugar.
All of these things. They can sense these things. Oh, yeah. So if they're acting abnormal, if they're acting just a little bit too close to crazy, you might want to look into somebody clearing out that energy or checking in on them, because they are probably not feeling great either.
Yep.
So.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. This was a fun chat. Crazy animals and the chaos that they can bring to you. Yes. But hopefully this is helpful for those out there who feel like they're pulling their hair out, as I have felt many times in the past. That it isn't necessarily that you are terrible at training them, not necessarily that you have failed them in some way, or they're just bad. It's just they're probably hanging on to something that you probably brought around. Right. And they could use a little bit of support and a little bit of help. So anything else that you have to add on that, Chelsy?
I don't think so. I feel like, and listen, like that again can be crazy. Izzy eats poop when she's like, hey,
Emma eats underwear. Why not?
There it is. Right. There it is. Peeing outside the litter box. Cats, dogs, reactivity, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Well, a little bit different of an episode for us today, but hopefully helping you still find peace and love in your home and not absolute and utter chaos. Right. So hopefully this helps those out there who they see their furry animal friends as family members as well, and they want to provide them the best love and support so that the whole family is not turning into a bunch of crazy people trying to deal with these, poor behaviors when that might not really be who they are.
Absolutely.
We hope everybody has an absolutely fantastic week. We look forward to chatting with you more next week. And that's pretty much all I got for today.
Bye, friends.
Bye.